you might be a redneck if the front yard of your house looks anything like mine out here in the country. Yeah. Junkyard or the world's most awesome hoopty collection? You tell me. Your nicest cars sit outside in the snow. Don't forget one last hoopty. While the biggest hoopties that you own are sitting in a temperature-controlled shop, staying nice and warm and out of the weather. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuilds. Boy, Copart is on it today. We won us a new car today, guys. Yeah. What do you think of that right there, right? I bet most of you remember the Ford Tempo from back in the day, correct? This is a 1990 Ford Tempo. On top of that, this is my very first car that I had ever owned, all right? So kind of a special car for me. Haven't seen one in probably over a decade. I found this sitting here for 175 bucks. I bought it. It's listed as an enhanced, meaning it does not run, it does not drive, but I got a little surprise for you guys, so stay tuned. I can guarantee you by the end of this video, this car will be running and moving on its own. Yes, sir. All right, here we go. Let's get her on the trailer. I'll help guide them on here. And that's perfect, man. Awesome. These guys are great. They sure are. Appreciate Copart all the time, man. I love coming up here. 2829 Southeast 15th Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. These guys have always taken care of me. It's got keys. It does not have a battery. So, first look. Yeah, I probably should have shown this to you guys on a video. I kind of regret that I didn't. But there she is, man. She's got your typical grandma dents and dings. See how the tires look. You know, average on the front. And the backs are actually pretty decent. We'll have to move this car up some. It's definitely sitting a little too far back for my comfort. But yeah, there she is, man. A 1990 Ford Tempo with 104,576 miles on the clock. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. I am going to put the camera down for a second. We're going to pull out a booster pack and let's see what happens. All right, we got the booster pack, the no-code GB150, the big boy. Should have no trouble with this one. Let's find out if this car will do anything. Fired right up. Fired right up. Now, let me ask you guys something. Do you guys believe for a minute that I didn't know if this car ran and drove? Yeah, I knew. I knew this car ran. Now, one thing this car is lacking is brakes. They go straight to the floor. You can see the brake light is on. She fires right up, guys. It runs, and it runs well. I'm going to let it idle down before I attempt to pull it forward. Otherwise, we are liable to drive this car straight off the trailer and into the bed of my truck, and nobody wants that. Now, for those of you that don't know the Ford Tempo, welcome to the Ford Tempo. It was nothing to write home about, but in my opinion, they really were pretty good cars, guys. Looks like we got an oil change sticker up here, dated for 6/19 at 101,000 miles. But obviously it's got 104,000 on it now, so she's overdue for an oil change. You've got your windshield wipers, which are a knob over here. Wipe washer is push. Okay, over here you have your fan controls, high, medium, and low. Pushing it does nothing. You have your floor, panel vents, heat, cold, and blower. Now, typically these will have a bad vacuum line and cause them to blow out of the vents only. Oh, there's heat. We got good heat coming out of the vents. All right, what about turning it to cold and putting it on maximum air conditioning? I can almost bet you there's no AC. Let's see what's in the trunk while we're at it, right? What is this? Some molding for the bumpers, I believe. Yeah. We've got cruise control, which is a, you know, pretty good option for this car. Power locks, which work. And you've got your manual hand crank windows, which I think is actually kind of funny with all the options this car has, and you've got manual windows. Yeah, I don't believe the AC is functioning. I'll go ahead and shut it off. It's definitely idling too high. We have a amp light on up here for the alternator. I do have it in park. I've got the e-brake set because there are 0 brakes on this car. Your headlights are right here, and your dimmer switch right there. It does have tilt. As I said, this car is nothing to write home about, guys, but I'll be honest with you, I kind of cheated on this one a little bit. There is your service manual, Ford Tempo service manual. We've got a full-size spare tire in there. Wow, that's pretty impressive. It doesn't look like it's ever been wrecked in the back. Somebody's done some work under the hood. It's got a recent valve cover gasket. Definitely looks like we're going to need to replace the alternator for sure. Figure out the brake issue for sure. Fuel pressure regulator, vacuum lines. What is this? We have a, there we go. There's your idle problem right there. Broken line that goes straight to the booster pack. Also, most likely this broken line here is going to be the reason we don't have any selectable heat and air conditioning. Yeah, it'd be nice to shut that up, wouldn't it? Anyway, other than that, guys, some emissions crap here. You got your distributor down there. Fuel filter looks to be newer. Not bad. Not bad. $175. I believe we have brake fluid probably leaking right there. Maybe that's oil. It's leaking pretty steadily. That might be oil. Oh, wow. I think I see why we have no brakes. Take a look at this, guys. Let me see if I can get you down here. The caliper is right there. That is the caliper, guys. It is literally hanging off of the car. Oh boy. Well, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait to see what we got ourselves into. If we shut this off, it'll die, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. No alternator to sustain it. Comment what you guys think. If you want to know what the total cost was, it was a $175 winning bid, and it came out to $290 out the door. $290, guys, is what this car cost me. Now, was that a good buy? Or was it a bad deal? I don't know. But can you really put a price on finding your first car at Copart and being able to purchase it? I think not. Yeah, I put the car through hell, guys. I put the car through hell. So to see this Ford Tempo sitting here running and able to move, although not stop under its own power, is it's pretty special. I think that door is locked. Oh, there's no battery, right? So I've got to reach back there and unlock it. Look at that. I mean, for the most part, the car's actually in pretty good condition, guys. So let's get this thing strapped down. Then we can get it to the house, pour some, well, we can't just pour brake fluid in it, can we? No, we can't. We got to figure out that caliper situation first. But we'll get it back to the house, and we'll get this thing off the trailer, and we'll see what we can accomplish in this video. All right, guys, we got her strapped down. I'm pretty sure what's leaking out from under there is oil. I need some new straps, man. These things are getting frayed. I'm gonna have to order some when I get home. Meant to do it last week, totally forgot. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we got oil pouring out. See if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, that's oil. Uh-oh. Wonder if that's like a rear main or something, you know? That could suck. Oh well, you know what? Let's get it home. Let's get it off the trailer. And I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I really don't. I have no idea what we're gonna do with this. All I know is it belongs to me, and we're gonna do something with it that doesn't involve cutting off the doors. That's not gonna happen. I wanna see this car back on the road again. So let's head back to the house and see what kind of trouble we can get into back there. You wanna go? Wanna go outside? Come on, let's go. Snow, you wanna go? You wanna go? Come on. Come on, it's snowing. It's snowing. Oh boy. Oh, she's gonna be like, nah. It's snow? Is it snowing? You gonna go potty? Go potty? Wait. That's a no. So the red parts car has decided it doesn't want to cooperate anymore. It doesn't, well, now it's gonna run. Yeah, now that I put you on blast, you want to run. All right. Well, let's get this thing out of the garage. Oh yeah. Beautiful weather, isn't it? Gotta love the snow. Where am I gonna put you? I think I got the perfect spot for you. Can I fit? I can. That is epic. All right. Next, let's get this old girl into the garage, because I'm not working on it out here, guys. Oh, ooh, it is cold. Oh. Wow, like it was nothing. Wow. What a great car, man. Oh yeah, I forgot we got no brakes because we have a caliper hanging off, don't we? Okay. Let's carefully. Ooh, easy. I think we got some brakes, but pretty much nothing. We got to get that wheel off and see if we can figure out what's going on with the brakes up there. Whoa. Oh, the brakes are sketchy, man. Okay. Now we can let this thing let's close these doors. It's getting chilly in here. Let this car warm up a little bit, and then we can get into it. Got to figure out what's going on. So it's been, well, a few days since I last worked on the Ford Tempo here, but oh wow, what is this? Oh my goodness. Somebody brought me parts and started working on my car for me? No! Sarcasm. Yes, my shop is filthy. After doing Swamp Thing in here, it's gonna be a while before we can clean this mess up, man. But I wanted to get this done. So let's fast forward a little bit. I did not do much without you. There's a few things that I want to cover. Number one, we did put a new battery. The car deserves a new battery. And I've already had people asking me if I'm going to sell this. And possibly, but probably not. I actually have intentions for this car that you guys will not understand. Having my first car is kind of special. So I plan on replacing the front bumper, possibly the rear bumper. There are some dings here and there, nothing major that I think we can have taken care of. I'd like to get it repainted the factory color. I'd like to get the factory headlights and corner lights brand new to really brighten up the front end. Fresh paint job and everything. And this car will look almost brand new. And I think I would like that. I think I would. It's a dependable car. It'll probably last a long time just with some basic maintenance. So the oil leak, it was definitely an oil leak. And I found where it was coming from, and I fixed it. The oil leak was coming from, it's not a PCV valve, but it is. This line is the PCV valve, which runs under here. It runs, I'm not sure where it runs. It may actually run right here. So I guess this is the PCV valve. Hooked up directly to the intake. When this came unhooked, actually, no. Where does this? It is this. Okay, so there's a splitter down here. This runs under where it splits. There's a T. And it goes down and it comes up, okay? So there is a little junction in this hose down here. When this came disconnected, it caused a high idle. It also caused blow-by from the PCV system. And yes, the engine does have some blow-by. The blow-by is actually what was causing that oil leak. It wasn't oil dripping out of the bottom of the engine. It wasn't a rear main seal. It was nothing crazy. It was just a disconnected PCV line. So we will be replacing the PCV on this at some point. We will be replacing the valve cover gasket on this as well. This vacuum line, I don't know what it ever went to. I haven't found anything that this goes to, so I plugged it off. There's another vacuum line right here that was disconnected. It was broken. I fixed it, and that fixed the panel vents and everything inside. Alternator is bad. We have a new alternator for it right here, brand new. We have new rotors, we have a new brake caliper, we have a new brake hose, we have new brake pads, and we have another rotor right here. So we're going to do a complete brake job on the front end of this. And then, for the first time, we are going to take this car out on a drive and see how it is. I expect that the car is going to drive fine. How much did all of this cost? I know a lot of people are going to ask. All of this stuff, all of the brake components, was like $96. The alternator I got off eBay, it was 50 or 60 bucks. I think 60 with shipping and everything, $60. So the battery, unfortunately, was the most expensive part. Walmart is proud of their batteries, man. That battery was like $99. Crazy expensive for a battery, but there you go. That's how much we have in it. So let's get started. I'm going to focus right now on the, you guys haven't even seen the brakes yet, have you? This is what I was greeted with. This is like, the rotor's not even attached to the hub anymore. The rotor just broke off. I have been soaking this in penetrating oil for about 3 days now, so I'm hoping that I can get my BFH out, tap on it a couple times, and hopefully this rotor comes right off. If it does, we can start with pulling the clip up there, taking off the brake line. Since this caliper has been hanging under the car for so long, I didn't want to take any chances with a stretched brake line, so I bought a new one for $7. All of these parts came from O'Reilly Auto Parts, not sponsored, but out here in the sticks, man, it's hard to find parts, and O'Reilly's can actually get them to me, delivered to my house in 24 hours. Almost anything I need is delivered within 24 hours. So let me go get a hammer, and let's beat on this and see if we can beat it off. That didn't sound right. A couple good whacks, and it's all about aim, man. Hopefully I don't hit the studs. This is a big hammer, and it gets pretty close to the studs. Maybe I need to swing it from behind the camera like this. Here it goes. All right. So that should bust that off. Oh man. That doesn't even look like a rotor. Let's see what the backside looks like. There it is. Wow. Man, a new rotor is going to make all the difference on this thing. Crazy. Having this service cart has really made things a lot easier for me. Even though it's a disorganized mess, at least my tools aren't all over the floor scattered across the whole shop where I can't find them. I know where they're going to be. They're going to be there. So, line wrenches. To do brakes, you're going to want to use a line wrench, and I'm going to guess maybe this one. We'll see. You don't want to take brake lines off using standard wrenches. It can cause some serious problems. It's going to be a little bigger than this, I guess, isn't it? It may just be... There we go. No, that's it. Okay. Maybe I need to spray some penetrating oil on that first. Or maybe I just need to turn it the right way. Yeah. Didn't need penetrating oil. Just needed somebody that would turn it the right way. And you got to make sure you're not twisting the line, guys. So what I like to do is when I break it loose, I like to just kind of work it back and forth, back and forth. I can't tell you how many times, and I'm sure some of you have done it too, where you think you're breaking that line loose, that right here, you think it's coming loose, and you realize after the line snaps, that you were actually just twisting the line. So I like to just keep doing this for a while, man, as I work it loose to be sure that I'm not twisting up the line. And yeah, we're good now. This should come right off, and that should be a wrap. There we go. There we go. Now, before I put this back on, I am going to take some of my penetrating oil and just kind of douse that, man. Soak her down. Get it down in here, too. There we go. We'll just let that stuff soak for a while. And we can pull that clip. This hose and the caliper will just come off as an assembly. You don't need to unbolt it from the caliper because we're not reusing that caliper. The piston has been blown out of it. Let me tell you guys something. Do you see this little bitty clip right here? This little teeny tiny clip? Take a good look at it. That sucker, I couldn't get it out. I had to use this, a freaking pry bar and a hammer and my PB blaster to get that clip off. That sucker was in there. Boy, yeah, it's actually still in there. I believe we have a nut back here somewhere. I can't see it. Somewhere right here, this line attaches. Oh yeah, I see it. Attaches right here, probably a 10 mil. What do you think? About a 10 mil? Yeah, I think we'll put a 10 mil on that. Get that off. The line and caliper should come right off. You want to know one of the things that's great about using my iPhone for videos these days? It's normally for video content for you guys, I'd have to put lots of light under here for you. Lots of light. Requires lots of light for the video quality to be decent. With the iPhone, it seems like it doesn't really need all that much light. Oh, you're not gonna come out now? You're gonna make me into a liar. I said all we had to do was get that off. Come on. And this whole thing would, there we go, would come undone. Just like that. This is the old caliper that got burned up. I'm pretty sure the piston, well, actually, no, the piston's gone. Yeah, I thought maybe the piston was still in there, but it's not. Piston is gone. That's okay. We got a brand new caliper right here that we can install. Let's get it on there, man. I'm ready to take this car for a drive. All right, guys, so first things first, I want to clean off with brake cleaner these slide pins here. In fact, you know what? We don't need to clean those off. The new caliper came with brand new ones, didn't they? I guess we can still give them a quick wipe off to make them a little less slippery. Let's see if I can just throw some vice grips on them and break those off real quick. Then we can get to putting the hose on. There we go. That was easy. That was easy. I can't believe somebody trashed this car, junked it, over basically $100 worth of parts. You know, 150. I'm sorry. It obviously had a battery, so whoever had it, you know, decided to keep the battery, which is fine. You know, I don't know what you're going to use it for, or maybe they're going to sell it or something. I don't know, but to junk a car over $100 in brakes and a $50 alternator is just beyond me. It is absolutely beyond me. I know it's not the most popular car. And I know this car isn't going to be one of those that blows up YouTube and rakes me in a ton of YouTube cash. For me, it's not about that. For me, this car is part of my history. In fact, it goes way back. Goes way back to the late 90s for me. We do have an axle boot that's broken. That'll need to be addressed at a later time. We also have an outer tie rod here that needs to be replaced as well. We're not going to deal with any of that right now. Right now, the goal is simply to get the car back on the road, drivable again. I may even occasionally daily drive this thing. I really might. That's how, I know you guys probably think I'm crazy, but this car is actually very important to me, more than I think most people could possibly understand. All right, so I am going to start with putting this bolt back into the brake line here. I don't want this to come off, so we'll get that back in there where it goes. Okay, we got that in place. Now, this brake line is actually keyed. There's a little notch cut out of it. You got to make sure that you install it with that notch facing out right there. There we go. Okay, and now that we got that in, it's time to put that. Oh, my PB Blaster is leaking everywhere. You guys know how great PB Blaster smells, right? Smells about as good as differential gear oil. Well, that'll be a permanent stain in my concrete now. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put that pesky little clip back in. We'll probably need to hammer that sucker in there. All right, we found our clip, which ran away from us. Oh yeah, she's going to be a lot of fun to get in. Generally, you got to hold them just right and tap them with a hammer 3 times, then tap your heels together 3 times, and at some point, you'll hit your fingers like I'm about to. There we go. Just like that. Hey, you know, whatever gets the job done, right? I've soaked this with a PB Blaster to aid in making sure that we get the line reconnected securely without cross-threading anything or damaging any of the threads. I'm sure you guys are just having the most fun you've ever had watching a guy wrench on brakes to a 1990 Ford Tempo on YouTube. Now let me tell you, like I said, this isn't a car that's going to bring in a bunch of money. It's just, I think it's a car that a lot of you can probably relate to. I'm sure your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, I think most of us know somebody that owned one of these. We have experienced riding in one of these at some point in our lives, and it just kind of brings back fond memories. At least it does for me. But then again, I was a teenager, and I was doing lots of things that, you know, you don't want your kids doing, and you definitely don't want your kids out doing in their car. But thankfully, I had parents that did not care. Okay, I shouldn't say that on YouTube. Anyway, let's just say I was pretty much left to do whatever I wanted. And no, that's not bragging. It's actually not bragging at all. I was pretty much left to my own devices. You don't want to over-torque that. Hey, we have a brake line. In fact, I even lived in this car for a time. I had a rough childhood, guys. I did. I had a very rough childhood. So everything worked out okay for me, though. So no complaints there. You definitely want to make sure you keep these washers in the appropriate places. You'll want one washer on the back end of the bolt, and you'll want the other washer on the front end of the bolt. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to figure out what size these are. Probably pretty small. And we'll bolt the caliper on. We'll bolt the line on. So as it turns out, these are 1/4 inch, so it'll be a 7mm Allen. The slide pins are already lubed up from the factory. What am I doing? What? You see, this is why you shouldn't get in a hurry, guys. Don't get in a hurry when you're doing this, or you're going to forget to put your rotor on first. Yeah, I about made a big mistake. I'm probably going to edit. No, I won't. I won't. We all make mistakes, so if I made you laugh, enjoy the laugh. You're welcome. All right, now we can put our beautiful shiny rotor on, and yes, off camera, I did hit it with brake cleaner first, and wipe it down real good to make sure that we wouldn't have any issues. They do come with a rust inhibitor installed, so it's always important to get that stuff off. Next, we move on to brake pads, which should be fairly straightforward. These go on here. Sometimes you need a screwdriver. All right, once you get your front pads in, try not to touch your pads with dirty hands. You just kind of, you gotta squeeze them just right, man. They're very finicky. They want to be touched in just the right way. Ow, they will crush you. All right, there we go. Hey, there we go. Make sure these sliders are back. And now you should be ready to install your caliper with your new rotor. And then it's about the point you find out this is a caliper that doesn't go to your car. Take a look at that beauty, guys. Yeah. All right. We've got everything installed. We're just needing to add, there you go. This line right here needs to go like right there. And then this side is done. I'm not going to make you watch me do the other side, but I am going to show you what the other rotor looks like because I am curious if it's as bad as this one. All right, it's time to pull a little bit of vacuum and bleed these brakes. So this is pretty simple. My little oil fluid bottle, Pittsburgh, works good. Hook it up to about 120 psi. And one-handed, you don't want to do it this way, but since we've got so much air in the system, it's not going to matter anyway. You just crack your bleeder valve and watch this hose. If we get lucky, we'll see brake fluid starting to go through it at some point. I mean, that would be ideal, but I don't see brake fluid going through it. So you may need to persuade it a little bit. You see we're full of brake fluid there. So what I'm going to do right now is put the cap on because I don't want to spew brake fluid everywhere. Then just get in and kind of pump your brakes until they start feeling some resemblance of pressure. Well, that's, yeah. Oh, perfect. All right. Works for me. You want to take this cap back off again. It's important that it can breathe. It's hard to pull a vacuum on something when you've got a lid on it, you know? Let's try this again. Open this up. And let's see what happens. Absolutely. There we go. There we go. Here it comes. That's what she said? I don't know. All right. That's fine. We're just going to let it do this for a little while. And then we'll check the fluid level. We can close her up. All right. While we're at it, you know, you might as well do the back brakes too. So we just got through bleeding the backs. And I noticed we got new struts. How about that? New struts in the back, guys. They look great. So that's good news. All right, so we just did the same thing over here on this side till we got clean brake fluid coming out. And we also have the same brand new strut over here as well. So good deal. We're almost done. And this little car is the gift that just doesn't quit giving, guys. As I suspected, this rotor is totally destroyed, just like the last one. Thankfully, it did not destroy the caliper or the piston. We still have a brake pad back there, so that's good news. I got everything unbolted, but take a look at this. It does have a fairly new CV axle on this side right here. CV axle looks to be in good shape. Needs an inner and outer tie rod on this end and an outer tie rod on the other. No big deal. If you see that puddle down there, no, it's not oil. I spilled quite a bit of brake fluid up here, and it went down over there, and it poured out the bottom of the car. I know, it's awful. But thankfully, I have some not sponsored, super clean products that they sent me to give an honest review on. So, yeah, that super clean ought to get that right up. And then I noticed while I was under here, you know, we look over here, and it's like, what do we got going on? Do we have any major oil leaks? Doesn't look like it. Transmission? Doesn't look like it. We do have a new belt under there. It's definitely a little damp, a little wet under here, but honestly, not bad at all, guys. So I am going to get this new rotor, these new brake pads installed. Then we can change the alternator, and then we can put some air in the tires and go for a drive. All right, we got the new brake pads installed. Having a caliper hanger is a great thing to have. And now we can take this stubborn rotor off. Look at that. Here's what the backside look like. Yeah, she's a little rough. Take a look at the brake pads. These were the front right here. Look at that. Wow. That is something. Then the back of the pads right here. Pretty rough, guys. All right, time to put the new rotor on, button this thing up. All right, front brakes, check. Everything's looking good. Now it's time to tackle this alternator. This, thankfully, is super easy. There's only a couple bolts and a belt and a couple plugs. So step one, we have disconnected the battery. Step two, pull out the silly little plug. Step three, that's going to be fun to get to, but there is a little bolt down there we got to get off. Then we should have, what is it going to be? I'm assuming a 14 because I already pulled it. Yep. There we go. Loosen that up. Next will be a 16 down here. Ratcheting wrenches make the job so much easier, guys. Truly. All right. And I think, yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Look how she moves now. Get that belt off. Easier said than done, right? These belts love to hang up on these pulleys. There you go. Just like that. Get that belt out of the way. And we'll pop this sucker off, slap a new one on it. We should be able to go on our first test drive. So I'm going to go ahead and take these bolts out first. I think that'll make it a little easier for me to get to the wires on the back of the alternator. Now I'm hoping that the alternator is actually bad. There is a fusible link on these. Unless you've owned a Tempo and worked on it your whole life, you won't know that. But there is a fusible link over on the starter solenoid side, or not the solenoid. Yeah, it is the starter solenoid side. There's a fusible link over there that does go to the alternator, and I can't tell you how many times I have seen them blown. Oh, that's going to be fun. That is one of those really, 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 really long bolts. It's been a while since I've changed an alternator on one of these guys. I don't know if we can actually get this out without having to, I mean, it looks like we should, right? Or not. I don't know. This is going to take a minute, so while I finish this, you guys can just sit there and we'll fast forward like nothing ever happened. Boy, barely. Golly. Okay, alternator should be free now. There we go. We just kind of turn it over. I believe that's a 10 millimeter. And once I find a 10, we can proceed to take that off and continue our journey. Well, I picked up the first socket that came to me, which was a 12. It wasn't a 12. Here's an 11. Ah, it's an 11, not a 10. Yeah. All right, here we go. Off she goes. Try not to lose that nut. We may need it. Set it to the side. Pull off your wires. And one alternator Done. So as my luck would have it, these alternators are slightly different. Do you see the difference yet? Well, I do. Over here, I've got these alternators facing the exact same orientation. And we have this long stud coming out of here, which is great for being able to hook up our wires to. Over here, there's nothing there. Yeah. There's also no place for your noise suppressor, which is fine. I'm guessing it's built in probably right there. So the only other place to hook that stuff to is right here. And if I put this piece on it, there's not really any room. So I'm a little confused. Now, there was a piece on here that I went ahead and took off. I don't know where it's at because this one didn't have wires for it. I'm going to try to make this work, guys. But right now, it's not looking good. So here's what I've run into, boys and girls. Apparently, there's supposed to be a connector that plugs into this for this car. And apparently, somebody decided to cut the connector off. It's probably damaged. And they attached these. And these are in pretty poor shape. So the goal is, it's not the right way to do it, but the goal is to solder all of them to these. And then I will reinstall this back onto the alternator, and hopefully all this will work. Got my trusty old Weller soldering iron there, man. And let me tell you, that thing's been a trooper. Let's see if we can knock this thing out, take it out on a first drive. Get us a nice, thick bunch of solder on the tip here so that it makes it easier. Look at that, just like that. Now, all we got to do, that was the easy one. Doing it with these bigger ones is going to take a little bit longer and a whole bunch more solder. There she goes. Yeah, that's what I like to see. We're almost done. Well, not my proudest moment ever, but I did what I could with the wires. They are soldered nice and tight. This is attached. Everything is hooked back up. Battery is loosely connected. I haven't tightened it down yet just in case we have an emergency and I need to pull the cable off. So now, if all goes well, we can put the key in. And hopefully that amp light back there goes out. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And the brake light is out too. Brakes feel good. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I know it's just a, a cheap little beater car, whatever. I don't care. I love this little thing, man. I do. I love it. All right. Belt looks good and tight. She's running like a top, man, like a sewing machine, guys. I'm going to tighten that positive battery cable down, open up the garage, and let's take her for her first drive. Well, we made another mess. That's okay. I've got a lot to get cleaning up anyway. But I just aired up the tires. They were at about 10 pounds. The garage is open. Oh, I need a dealer tag, don't I? Yeah. Make sure we don't have anything in our way here. Let's get a dealer tag put on it. Let's take her out for a spin. Who remembers these old seat belts, right? Okay. Headlights. Yep. And reverse. As long as we don't have any dogs or anything behind us, we should be all right. Let me close up this garage real quick. I don't want to let the heat out, and we can get on the road. All right, garage door is closed. Here we go. Moment of truth, guys. She's got forward, she's got backward. Looks like we got a turn signals, but the left turn signal light in here is not functioning. Okay. There we go. Oh wow, what is this thing, like 90 horses? Well, she shifts. I mean, I'm at 45. No warning lights yet. Wonder if the cruise control works. Let me let off. Yes! The cruise works! The cruise works. It is holding its own at just over 50 miles an hour. Wow. Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to turn the cruise off. Speed limit goes up to 65, guys. Let's see if we can do it. Remember, we do have bad tie rods, so... Whoa, that was a crazy bump there. I'm not pushing it, but I mean, we are at 60. And it's actually riding very well. There we go. 65. Let's set the cruise. Will it hold itself at 65? It sure will. Oh, wow, guys. And the brake, does it decelerate? Ah, okay. So when you hit the brakes on this, it will slow you down, but the cruise control will immediately pick back up again. Cars don't do that today. Today, when you hit the brakes, cruise control is disengaged. I can't believe this thing is running and driving this well. I really can't. Everything is looking good. I'm going to drive it a little while, guys. Let it get fully warmed up. And maybe I'll even drive it to the city and go grab me some burritos. Look at that beautiful sunset, guys. She's a trooper, man. She is. Somebody took the thermostat out. I've driven it far enough now that we should be warmed up, and we're not. So she's missing her thermostat. That'll need to be replaced. And did I mention the air conditioning in this works? Ice cold air conditioning in an old Ford like this. That's hard to believe. Look at that moon up there. It's hard to see, but it's kind of that light speck on the top left corner of your screen there. Man, the sky is beautiful out here, guys. I gotta say that about Oklahoma. I've been all over the country, and Oklahoma has some of the most, Oklahoma and Kansas, some of the most beautiful sunsets that I have ever seen. Let's get her back to the house, get these numbers wiped off, and I think we're gonna call it a wrap. So we made it back. It's running great. The heater does work. Now that it's idling, it's finally starting to warm up some. So again, that'll be something we look into a little bit later. The alignment needs to be done. Of course, it needs tie rods, so that's not helping the alignment one bit. I do smell a little bit of oil. Not really a surprise, because I do know that the valve cover gasket is leaking. I know this because I cleaned the head very, very well with brake cleaner before I left. And I don't know how well you guys can tell, but she's definitely wet right there. And she's wet over here as well, so definitely losing a little bit of oil from the valve cover. Otherwise, though, everything under here seems to be in good shape. Alternator's working, there's no smoke, no fire. And hey man, you know, for a $175 winning bid, we probably have less than $500 into this car. I say it's a good deal. Running, driving car with cold air conditioning, brand new tires, new struts in the rear, new brakes, new rotors, new caliper, brake flush. There's probably new CV axle on that side. Guys, it's around $500 all in for a running, driving car with cold air conditioning. Come on now. So speaking of brakes, how do the brakes feel? Man, they are strong. The brakes are strong. No vibrating, no pulsing, nothing. No pulling in any direction. The brakes feel absolutely fine. We got a little bit more to do to this car, guys, and you know, plans change. So I don't want to get you all excited about the possibility of paint jobs and headlights and bodywork and shocks and struts and, you know, all the other stuff. At the end of the day, the car is not worth it, at least not to any of you. But to me, assuming the car behaves itself when I go to get these burritos, it's going to be a 60-mile round trip drive to really make sure this car can hang at 65 miles an hour. If the car can do all right, doesn't give me any major problems, then we may just go a little bit further with it. Absolutely. If it starts acting weird on me, then maybe not. Or who knows, I may wake up tomorrow and decide I want to sell it. Your guess is as good as mine, guys. By the way, before we get out of here, I won 2 more cars. I actually won 3. One was on approval. Actually, 2 were on approval, and one of them they didn't accept. I won a 1966 Chevy Impala with a Turbo Fire 327 that looked like it had been freshly rebuilt. And I won it for $2,150. I think it was $2,150. Obviously, the seller did not approve the bid. So that's it for that. The next one that I got, a lot of you saw the video of the Copart walk around with that 89 Mustang GT that's modded. I won that. Yeah, I won that. And I've been waiting for an approval for about 24 hours now, and I finally got it. They didn't even try to negotiate with me. Actually, yes, they did. They called me twice, but I was busy. I was recording, so obviously I didn't answer. I didn't even know it. But instead of like countering me on the website or something, I guess Copart tried to call me, and when I didn't answer, they just threw their hands up and approved the bid. So we got the Mustang GT for a little more than I would have liked to have paid for, guys, considering we don't know anything about it, other than it looks like the motor is fresh. We got that car for $3 grand. Came out to $3,600 even after fees. So $3,050 was the winning bid, $3,600 for a car that we know absolutely nothing about, other than AutoAuctions.io has no records of it, so that's good. And Carfax shows that it is a clean title, never involved in an accident car, so that's good. Aside from that, I did win another car that just got the approval today, and that is from IAA. That is a 96 Buick Regal with a 3800, 2 owners. It was a rental vehicle for 5 months, and then the second owner purchased it basically right after it was bought brand new. And the second owner owned it for 28 years, something like that. Carfax shows that this car has been babied its entire life. 191,000 miles. I won it for $375 winning bid, and it's like $550 out the door, $600 out the door. Maybe it's not even that. No, I think I won it for $270. Anyway, I don't know. We got it for cheap, probably around $300, $300 to $400 out the door. Dealer serviced its whole life. The cooling fan on this just kicked in, so now I know the cooling fan works. Just need to put a thermostat in it. Guys, there's a lot more coming. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I have been working hard and spending tons of money to buy all of these cars and fix them up. Number 1, to give me something to do, and number 2, to give you guys some entertainment. So if you enjoyed the content, give the video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to check out Super Clean. Their link, it's just Super Clean. The link will be in the description below. I'm definitely going to be using that on this floor here in a minute. Not sponsored. In fact, I'm not sponsored by Super Clean. I'm not sponsored by Copart. I'm not sponsored really by anybody. We need to change that. I need some extra income. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Stay safe out there, buddy. I look forward to catching you all very soon in the next one.